Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I have a project here in the basement and it's right here on the table just outside of view. So my buddy Jim, he stopped by yesterday and dropped off his old computer that wasn't working anymore, and he asked if I wanted. And this is a laptop. I've had a lot of laptops over my life. I've actually had some really spectacular ones. My very first laptop was a Brother, I believe, with a monochrome display with only a few lines. It was like very wide. And then I actually got an IBM laptop, an SLC57C. That had a color display, which was absolutely unusual at the time. It was only 640 tab. Never mind. Let's go to the table and see what I got. Here it is. It's a Mac. I have never in my life owned a Mac. So, well, he didn't clean this off before I got it, but it has a problem. And it's pretty visible in this corner here. You can see it down here. The battery has, well, expanded and is not able to fit in the battery case anymore, and therefore the laptop is not currently working. So as I actually have a lot of these batteries, and I believe this one might fit very nicely, we're gonna have a look at that at least. So I think we should try and take out this battery and see if we can carefully take it apart somehow. See if we can exchange that battery part. This is a very nice spec'd laptop. Jim uses good money on his Apple products, and this Mac has probably been expensive at some point. He says it's from about 2011. So, oh, it actually says 2011 here, so he's probably right about that. It's model number UJ8A8. I don't know if that's the CD-ROM drive or the whole laptop, but probably the CD-ROM drive. Looks like it has been on the floor now and then. I will take the battery out. We'll see if we can get this to do anything. As it always happens when I'm gonna be working on something like this in the basement, well, the pump comes on over here and chooses to make a lot of noise just as I'm gonna be filming. Awesome. Apple has chosen to put in a very weird screw here. If you look, I don't know if we can see this. This is not a Phillips. It only has 3 grooves in it, but luckily I have a screwdriver that will do that. So yeah, I'm gonna try and take the battery out while the pump is running. Okay, pump is done for now. Battery is out. It's just 3 screws. There's one here, one there, and one underneath this protective piece of plastic that says don't remove the battery. Warning, do not remove this battery. And on the battery they have made a whole essay on why you shouldn't remove the battery. It's not that line, it's 2 lines. A risk of fire and, well, just normal death and destruction, I guess. Warning, risk of fire or burn if mishandled. Do not remove, disable, drop, crush, or exposed to fire or temperatures higher than 100 degrees Celsius. Serviced by only Apple authorized service providers. I am neither, but we're doing this anyway. These batteries are glued together. They're not meant to be disassembled, which is probably why they say it on there. So I don't want to take all of this battery apart. I just want this piece. So I think I'll take a knife and I'll carefully try and get this piece dismantled to get to these. That is the plan. Okay, so I have a new Stanley knife. It's not branded at all, but, well, cutting knife. And I want a new good edge here. So what you do is, you see those lines? I guess everybody knows this, but, well, if you don't know this, you take your pliers and you break off a piece. And that's not the way to do it. It's supposed to break. It's not supposed to break that way, so we're gonna try that again. What the? I've never had that happen before. That's ridiculous. Have they really made a blade and not made a good one? Okay, that's a good cut. And now this point should be very sharp. And I will of course cut off my fingers to put this in the trash can. If we break it, we break it. It is broken. The batteries are glued to the top of this. Yeah. But the cutting went pretty well. Let's see if we can cut a little bit down here. So the I don't think I have any cells like this. That's 13.3 watt hours. These are 11.0. This one is also on its way to expanding. There's some tape here. There's a little heat sensor right there that is gonna measure if the cells become too hot, it will shut off. And there is some tape here. Let's see if we can remove some of that. See what we have. Tape are protecting the connections in there, so we have to be a bit careful. Yep. There we have the connections. There are 4 of them. This is the little rubber thing that holds the sensor for the temperature. We might need that. If they have measured out this rubber thing to be a part of the measuring, well, they might have taken into account that, well, the rubber heats in this rate. The battery has been spot welded in place here. I can see the small tabs. See, we have 2 batteries here, 2 cells that are sandwiched on top of each other. And each battery has 2 connections. I don't know if it's that one, and the other one has that one and that one. It's probably something like that. One of them is opposite the other one, and they have all been spot welded onto these bus wires going into the battery electronics, which is somewhere in there. We might want to measure the voltage on those. So let's see. We have. Okay, the top battery goes out to this connector and that connector. That means that the bottom battery must be that connector and that connector. So top battery here, and we get 1.3 volts. The expanded blown up battery. So actually the 2 batteries are the same voltage, equally low. Move the batteries from the bus wire. Might not be, I have to work on this. You might not have the best view, but you gotta. The wires from there is like that. You don't want to lose the connection. Nah. That's not gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it. We're just gonna cut the connections. There we are. So I've cut the battery connections. You can see them here, and the battery is, well, 1.3 volts. There might still be a lot of power in this. It doesn't look great anymore. I did do a small video on Patreon where I took a battery like this and I put a a garden tool right down through it. It was only a blown up one, it was not a good one. Like the bottom one is still okay-ish. It has been bent, but that's because of this one blowing up. So we might take these two apart. That's probably easier said than done. And just get rid of the top one. Don't know if that's doable, but it doesn't seem like I have any batteries that will just replace this. I would have to have a closer look at that. Okay, so I actually just happens to have a lot of batteries laying around, but I haven't found anything that will do it yet. Have a nice one here. It's an Asus, also very flat, but it doesn't look like they are the right size. I have gone out and I've put on some WD-40 on this to loosen up the glue. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I haven't really found any cells that are big enough. I'll try and take off some of the tape and see these cells in here, but yeah, that one might. It looks like it could be big enough. So we're gonna have a look at that. Otherwise, I have another Mac battery here from probably an older model, 2006. So probably the batteries are not the same. I wouldn't count on that. 2011, 2006. You should hope that something had happened in between, right? Then we have actually another battery. This is kind of the same thing, but smaller. It's missing quite a bit over here. And I checked, these cells are also smaller. This one was 13.3 watt hours, and this one is only 10.95 watt hours per cell, so they're not the same cells. But I'll try and take the Asus one apart, see what's in that. Okay, this was actually pretty close. These cells are though only 8.9 watt hours, 8.09 watt hours, and they are very thin. So they're only about half the thickness of these, and a little bit bigger, and the connectors goes out the wrong way, so this is not gonna work either. So let's just check this older Mac battery just to look inside. But this one is actually, you're able to take it apart, or at least they put screws in to pretend that you can take it apart. Yeah, these are way smaller, so that's not gonna do it either. Nice casing though. I'm gonna keep that on. So let's see if we can take these two apart. They have been soaking in WD-40 for a little bit. Yeah, the glue is giving up. There we are. And this one has to be bent into place. This one has to be thrown out. Yeah, I don't like that much. Well, I'm not as afraid of them as I were before, when I actually put a metal stick down inside of this and saw that absolutely nothing happened. Well, that helped. I think we'll do that again. I think we'll go outside and put a stick through it, just to show that nothing happens. Hopefully nothing will happen, otherwise this will be a very spectacular video. Okay, so now that this is in the name of science, I found my lab coat. I really should wash this. It's old and moldy. I don't do much lab work. So I have the battery here, all puffed up, and I just created a pokey stick. So we're gonna throw the battery just here on the lawn. There. And we're gonna poke it. Just polishing the glasses so I can see what I'm doing. And hearing protection. And here it goes. Let's see. Kind of boring, right? That's exactly what happened last time I did this. So not as dangerous as they could be. So that was not spectacular. I have been looking for these cells, and I've been searching on my old favorite place to buy small things. And I have kind of found the cells here. I would think that this cell would work. I've measured it up in millimeters, and this looks about right. Actually, it goes that way, so there might be something with the connections not being right on this one. But it's like $9, and they even want $4.21 in shipping to Denmark. So I went down and got their entire battery here. Found out that this battery is an A1382, and they are also for sale, and the whole cell is like somewhere between $37 and $43, and that's funny enough, they're even cheaper in shipping, most of them. I could pick that, but I also found it here in Denmark, and I can have this Monday, and it's 379 Danish kroners. That's, we can calculate that. We have a calculator. Let's do that. 379 and just divide it by 6. That's the rate of the dollar-ish. That's $63. But then I don't have to wait a month. So I'm gonna get that one and just cough up the cash. That's Monday. That's not gonna help us today. So I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna try and put in some cells in this one. Okay, so looking at this battery down here, I can see that the two batteries that was here, they were just in parallel. These two connectors go out through the same lead here, and these two connectors go out through the bottom one. And there's a plus and a minus. Well, that one was the plus. And there's a piece of electronic there. Don't know what that is doing. There's a good chance this battery is totally dead. So I don't want to go out and buy new cells for it. Not for the price that a new compatible battery would cost. The one we were looking at was not original, but then again, I'm pretty sure that Apple doesn't make these themselves, so they probably do have a Chinese company making them, and so, well, they might be just as good. So, or they might be terrible. Who knows? We don't know yet. So I just want to put something in here. So I was actually just thinking about putting these two in here. They are also two batteries. They're smaller. They are 11 watt hours, where the ones that were in here was 13.3 watt hours. But to see this working, that would be fine. This would do well, I think. Maybe. I could also just put in the one cell, which I actually have it charging over here. There. And it's taking in a little bit of current. I have reduced it. It's charging with about 3.5 volts and 400 milliamps. Don't wanna shock it too much. Okay, that's also an option. I haven't measured the voltage on these yet. Maybe we should do that. So the way these are configured, they're in series. So we would need to make them in parallel instead. And there is no charge on these whatsoever. So they're even worse. Okay, I'll just check if we have some that are good. Let's check the voltage on these. That one is good, 3.8. This one is missing the lead, but we can connect to it. 3.8. So that's a couple of good cells right there. I could just put some wires on those. So working on this insane experiment, I'm gonna be putting this battery on top of that battery, and I have found that these two are the minus leads and these two are the plus leads. So I'm gonna put a piece of tape between them to hold them so they don't slide. And I have this. This is for putting up your carpet. I think that will do just fine. We will put a piece of that between the batteries, and hopefully it will stick. Now that I have been used, I think we will get some. That was exactly what the WD-40 was for. That was for not have anything stick to this. I hope I can get enough of it off to change that. So let's see, let's put this one on here. If we put it on so that we can still, no, we can't reach shit anyway, so let's just put it on and remove the tape, all the protective things on the other side. And there. And I need those two connectors. That would be nice if I didn't have to do too much there. I'm gonna be putting it all the way out here, there, and taping that together. Nice. And I'll turn on the soldering iron, so I'm gonna be soldering this. Okay, so I have connected the plus lead, and I'm gonna be taping this up because it's very important that I don't short circuit the minuses over here with the pluses over here, because even though I've just charged this a little bit, that one was pretty full, and when I connect these two batteries together, they will be what you call it, they will be syncing up and trying to be equal. They might get hot, so I want it to be protected when it does that. It's probably not gonna be bad. So I'm gonna be putting some of this tape on. It's very much like the tape that is on there. You kind of see the tape on this. This is a bit finer tape, but well, I'm sure my painter's tape will do just fine. Okay, I have taped the plus connections and separated them from the minus connections, and I just soldered the minus connections over here, and I'm gonna put some tape on top of that. Right now I'm mounting this, and it fits really nice in the spot, of course, because the bottom battery, the big one, it has been here before, and the top one is smaller, so there is a little extra space for my wiring. I just want to measure the voltage of the battery before we do anything. So zoom out a bit. I haven't seen anything going on while they have been synchronizing. So we see 3.817 volts here. Awesome. So I'm gonna solder the last connection on, and I hope I have this right. I'm counting on this red wire being plus. I have nothing more to go on than that. I hope so. Otherwise, new battery is 379 Danish kroners. I can handle that. Okay, I've put the sensor wire for the temperature down here. I'm just gonna be putting it in place with a piece of tape. It's probably gonna fall off. It's already falling off. Okay. It's in there. It was in there. I have taped this. It's back together. It's a bit more thick here than it is over here. So yeah, there is that. So I think it will fit. It was in there when it was all blown up, so I'm sure it will also go in there now. There. Cool. I'll fasten the screws and put the cover back on. There are some springy things here on the back of it that can feel if the cover is on or off. They kind of make ground connections, and I'm pretty sure that if the cover is not on, it will be complaining or something. So I will put the cover back on, and we'll see if the battery is anywhere near alive. I haven't seen Louis Rossmann enough. Roswell, I'm not sure about his last name right now. I know he does a lot of this, so don't link his channel. I know about him. Okay, MacBook Pro is actually a big screen, 15 inches. I think I saw this was. There is a battery indicator on this machine. It's right there, and it's right where the battery had swallowed up, and I'm afraid that when I press that, nothing happens. So probably the other cells in the batteries are also depleted. So I would need to, well, Jim forgot to bring the power supply for this. So I'll have to call him up and ask if I can come by and get the power supply. Okay, picked up the power supply for it, and yeah, let's see what happens. If anything happens. I'm not very used to Mac things, so but this should be power, and it's pluggable in the side. So let's see how that works. Yeah. Works rather nice. Turn screen. System turned on. CD-ROM turned on at least. There is no hard drive in it. There's, yeah, it also says sounds. Screen doesn't turn on apparently. Down here with the battery indicator. That is now charging. So there is that. Okay, it's still charging. Sometimes I can get it to say the welcome sound. So I'm gonna take it apart again and put in this Samsung 250 gigabyte SSD. It's a Samsung Evo disk, because there is no disk in it right now, and if I'm ever gonna get this up and running, well, it needs something to store data on. So yeah, I'll do that. Something is wrong here. This battery was not puffed up that much when I put it in. I think the other cell in there is also creating a gas when trying to charge that. So I don't think we're gonna get any further with this. I'm still gonna put in the hard drive because I'm gonna go order a battery. Didn't do that yet, but I'm gonna order a new battery for it. See if we can get this old Mac up and running, but unfortunately we can't do that in this video then. The hard drive part is pretty simple. Jim has left the screws for me. Awesome. And we just have to dismount. This is of course a shock system for a spinning drive, which we don't really need with an SSD, but it fits very well there. Okay, how does that work? Oh, I didn't need to take this one out. Okay, we'll keep that in. Then we'll take the screws and move back here, there, and we'll put those in the drive. They are tiny, and there are small Torx. So I'll just put them in loosely and then I'll fasten them. And these hard drives are so lightweight, you almost don't believe that there is anything in them. It's like, and I can just tighten them up with a bit here. There, the cable goes in that way, so pop that in. Pop the drive in, fit it in there, pop it down there, and then this one goes on top. I hope this Samsung will run in this Mac. Have no idea. I took the battery out again and I have just removed the tape, and yeah, the other battery has puffed up. Yeah, I did not see that one coming. That was just stupid. It has the back on again, so let's see if we are any luckier. If this stays together now. Plop on some power. Green. Is It's not very satisfied with the battery right now. It does kind of try to start. Don't get a picture. I have a thingy here, so we could connect an external monitor and see if it's just the graphics card in the system that has fried, which is apparently a normal thing with these MacBooks. The fans get so dirty and doesn't cool it enough, and then the graphics card chipset just overheats and disorders itself. But oh, we're not gonna be doing that in this video. I have just been messing around with the batteries in this one. Okay, I don't think we can come any further in this video. I'm gonna go get another battery for it. It's not that expensive. And then I'm gonna go research why the screen doesn't come on and what you can do to fix that. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys will give me links to how to fix this, because this is a common thing on these MacBook Pros. So at some point I might be able to fix this and get a working Mac, which I've never had. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.